The East was supposed to belong to the champs and the top seed, but after two jaw-dropping upsets, it's the Knicks and Pacers who are left standing. And the Garden just might be the loudest it's been since the 90s. This ain't your average NBA Eastern Finals. This is grit versus grit. Old school basketball in the TikTok era. Let's talk Knicks versus Pacers. For the second straight year, New York and Indiana are meeting in the playoffs. But this time, there's a trip to the NBA Finals on the line. The Knicks punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals by taking down the defending champion Boston Celtics in 6 games. Before that, they knocked off the upstart Pistons in round 1, also in 6. And through it all, Jalen Brunson has been nothing short of spectacular, proving exactly why he was crowned Clutch Player of the Year. Indiana got here a little earlier, cruising past the Bucks in 5, then knocking out the top-seeded Cavaliers in 5 more. 3 of those wins coming on the road. Tyrese Haliburton had plenty of clutch moments of his own, especially with a huge finish to close out Milwaukee and momentum-shifting stretch that buried Cleveland. Now, the Knicks, who own the number 3 seed, have home court for the East Finals. These teams met in last year's playoffs too, in the second round, where Indiana won in 7, but New York was missing key rotation players, and both Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby were banged up during that series. This time around, they're healthier, and the odds makers have them as slight favourites. The Knicks won the regular season series 2-1, including a blowout 25-point win at the Garden. Notably, Mitchell Robinson didn't play in any of those matchups, but now he's back and playing a key role off the bench for New York. Of course, the Pacers have leveled up too. Their development coming from within. They're second in offensive rating and first in effective field goal percentage this postseason. Since the All-Star break, they've also become a top 10 defense, a massive improvement from last year. New York, meanwhile, is 5th in defensive rating, but just 10th in offensive so far in the playoffs. A sneaky subplot, both teams have been elite on the road. The Knicks are 5-1 away from home, and the Pacers are 4-1. The stakes are massive, and it's been a long time coming. The Pacers haven't been to the NBA Finals since 2000, when they got there by beating the Knicks. The Knicks haven't made it since 1999, when they beat the Pacers. Yup, this rivalry goes way back. In fact, no 2 franchises have faced off more in NBA playoffs over the last 32 years. This is the 9th series between the Knicks and Pacers since 1993, and most of those battles went the distance. Out of a possible 54 playoff games, they've played 48. It's a throwback to the Reggie Miller vs. Patrick Ewing days. The Pacers have won 5 of the 8 all-time playoff series, but when it comes to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks lead 2-1, with wins in 1994 and 1999, before Indiana finally broke through in 2000. Last year's East semis went all the way to Game 7 at Madison Square Garden, where the Pacers blew the roof off with a record-breaking shooting performance. They hit 67.1% of their shots in a 130-109 win that stunned New York. But both teams look a little different this time. The Knicks' changes were bigger. They lost Dante DiVincenzo and Isaiah Hartenstein from last year's starting group, but added Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns. While both teams still lean into the same general style and approach, the personnel upgrades could swing the outcome. So let's break down how they stack up, starting with offense. Statistically, their regular season offensive production was pretty similar, but stylistically, night and day. The Knicks rely on star power. The Pacers rely on speed and sharing. Both teams finished in top 10 in offensive rating. Indiana landed at 9th with 116.5 points per 100 possessions. New York was even better, ranking 5th with 118.5. But if you narrow things down to 2025 only numbers, the Pacers get a bump. Since January 1, their offensive ratings jumped to 119.4, nudging ahead of the Knicks. Shot making, both elite. Indy ranked 3rd in field goal percentage at 48.8%, with the Knicks just a tick behind at 48.6%. From deep, they're neck and neck again. New York shot 36.9% from 3, while Indiana came in right behind them at 36.8%. At the line, it's more of the same. Knicks 5th in 3-throw percentage at 80%, Pacers 9th at 78.9%. But the real difference? It's not about numbers, it's about how they score. The Knicks slow it down, give the ball to their stars, and go to work in isolation. The Pacers push the tempo, run and pass ahead in transition, and move the ball constantly. New York has 2 scorers in the top 20. Jalen Brunson, 10th with 26 points per game, and Karl-Anthony Towns, 19th with 24.4. Then there's OG Anunoby, 18 points, Mikal Bridges, 17.6, and Josh Hart, 13.6. But off the bench, only Miles McBride can be considered somewhat of a reliable offensive contributor. We mentioned their top 5 offensive rating, but they play slow, ranking just 26th in pace. They're middle of the pack in assists, and while they're not quite the offensive rebounding force they were last year, they still rank in the top 10. Indiana, meanwhile, plays a completely different brand of basketball. Fast, unselfish, and unpredictable. They rank 7th in pace and 3rd in assists during the regular season, constantly pushing the tempo and moving the ball until a good shot opens up. And when it comes to scoring, they don't rely on just 1 or 2 guys. Everyone eats. But the most eye-popping stat combo for the Pacers came in the second half of the season. Just think about it. From January 1 through the end of the regular season, they were one of only 2 teams to rank top 10 in pace, assist to turnover ratio, and true shooting percentage. The only other team in that club, the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's elite company and a nightmare to gameplay for. Good luck matching up with an offense that's this fast, this efficient, and this connected. The Pacers only have 1 player in the top 50 in scoring, Pascal Siakam at 20.2 points per game. But 7 guys average double digits. Siakam, Tyrese Haliburton, Bennedict Mathurin, Myles Turner, Aaron Nesmith, Obi Toppin, and Andrew Nembhard. TJ McConnell barely missed the cut with 9.1 points per game off the bench. They're not quite the scoring juggernaut they were last season, when they averaged 123.3 points per game, 6th most in NBA history, but they're still relentless. In these playoffs, the Pacers are 2nd in scoring at 117.7 points per game. The only team that scored more, the Cavaliers, the team Indiana just knocked out. Now defense. Just like on offense, the Knicks and Pacers put up similar defensive numbers, but they get there in totally different ways. Indiana throws waves of body at you. They'll use 11 players, press full court, and rely on constant ball pressure to wear teams down over 48 minutes. New York does it differently. They lean on 3 elite wing defenders, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges, who can match up with nearly any perimeter scorer in the league. Despite the different approaches, both teams finished the regular season with the exact same defensive rating, 114.3 points allowed per 100 possessions. New York's defense starts with Anunoby, former Indiana University standout, who led the NBA in steals in the 22-23 season. And in their series against Boston, he showed exactly why he's such a problem. He made life miserable for both Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, cutting off drives, holding his ground, and blowing up possessions with pure physicality. Last year, the Pacers didn't have to deal with OG much due to hamstring injury, and it showed. The Knicks weren't the same team after he went down. This year, they'll have him from the start. At 6'7", Anunoby paired with Hart, 6'4", and Bridges, 6'6", gives the Knicks a ton of flexibility defensively across positions 1 through 4. Expect Anunoby to take on his former teammate, Pascal Siakam, while Bridges or Hart will likely spend time chasing Haliburton. Miles McBride is another high-motor defender off the bench. He gave Haliburton trouble in last year's series. Mitchell Robertson adds some rim protection in spot minutes. That defensive wing trio, plus capable defensive options off the bench, help the Knicks survive on that end, even though Brunson and Towns are often targeted. The Pacers, meanwhile, have made a massive leap defensively. A year ago, they were 24th in defensive rating and 27th in points allowed. This year, they're flying around and committing to full court pressure, often with every position willing to pick up 94 feet. Andrew Nembhard has quietly become one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. Aaron Nesmith is their most versatile stopper and took on the Brunson assignment last year with real success. Siakam has stepped up defensively, and even though Haliburton isn't a lockdown guy, he reads the game well and averages 1.4 steals per game from the passing lanes. Myles Turner still anchors the paint, and off the bench, they can throw in more solid defenders like McConnell, Mathurin, Ben Shepherd, and even Jarris Walker. And that leads us to maybe the biggest difference between these teams: depth. This is where the contrast couldn't be more obvious. Rick Carlisle is riding a deep rotation, sometimes using 10 or even 11 players in a playoff game. While most teams shorten their bench in the postseason, Indiana has extended theirs. That's what allows them to keep up the full court pressure and running. They sub out Nembhard and Nesmith and keep the energy up with guys like McConnell, Mathurin, Shepherd, and Walker. They led all playoff teams in bench scoring last season with 33.3 points per game, and they're averaging even more this year, 35.7 points per game. Good for fourth in the playoffs. The three teams ahead of them, Milwaukee, Cleveland, and Golden State, all eliminated. Two of them by Indiana. The Pacers also rank second in bench field goal percentage with 48%, and first in bench assists with 8.4 per game. McConnell, Mathurin, and Toppin give Carlisle three legit scoring threats off the bench. Guys who can change the game when the opponent's stars sit, or even steal momentum against starters. The Knicks, total opposite. They barely use their bench. During the regular season, Josh Hart finished second in the league in minutes per game. Mikal Bridges was 4th, Anunoby 6th, Brunson 17th, and Towns 25th. All five averaged at least 35 minutes per game. By contrast, Indiana didn't have a single player in the top 40. Haliburton played the most for them, ranking 42nd at 33.6 minutes per game. The Knicks starting five played 940 minutes together this season, one of the highest totals in the league, but they finished dead last in both bench points and bench minutes. Only McBride, Cameron Payne, and Precious Achiuwa played more than 1,000 minutes and averaged over 6 points per game off the bench. The minutes police are still trying to get a warrant for Tom Thibodeau's arrest. So if injuries or foul trouble start to pile up, or if this series stretches to 6 or 7 games, as expected, the Pacers are built to outlast. Their deep, well-conditioned rotation and up-tempo style could give them a real edge as the minutes wear on bodies and start to break down. But don't get it twisted. The Knicks didn't just stumble into the conference finals, and it's not just the Brunson show, even if he's been cold-blooded as ever. Remember that first-round series against Detroit? It was a war of attrition. 6 games of bruises, bodies flying, and chaos. The Pistons tried to drag New York into the mud, and instead, the Knicks came out even stronger. It's like they absorbed Detroit's identity and weaponized it. By round 2, they were battle-tested. Down 20 in both games 1 and 2 in Boston, no problem. They stole both. In game 4, the Celtics built a 14-point lead with a chance to even the series. New York took that one too. Now, heading into the East Finals, there's no doubt about it. This Knicks team is built for a fight. They can take a punch, throw one back, and claw their way out of any hole you put them in. Led by their captain, one of the most brutally efficient shot creators in the entire league. For hardcore basketball fans and historians alike, I hope this series goes 7 games, regardless of who wins, because it's the ultimate styles make fights matchup. Two teams that know exactly who they are, featuring spectacular stars playing their best basketball, and head coaches who've proven in these playoffs they can play high-level chess on the hardwood. Who do you ride with in the Eastern Conference Finals? Knicks in 6, Pacers in 7. Who's going to the finals and why? Drop your predictions below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We've got full series previews, players breakdowns, and deep dives coming your way.